Good morning. This is Dr. Arjuna Parvadari. Today, I want to discuss you about the selection of dairy animals for high yielding. Selection of dairy animals. What are the procedures which are there in the selection process in the dairy technology? Then, first of all, we have to know that what is the need of high yielding animals. To gain high income for the farmers and to double the income of the farmers and to meet the requirements of highly growing population, which is the food requirements, and also to avail the nutritious food for the customers or consumers. And also we know that our union government has started a revolution, that is the white revolution, to increase the production of the milk yielding. That is the main need of the high yielding animals. And then what is the selection of high yielding animals? This selection is nothing but is the tool in the hand of a breeder to improve the performance of the animal. Proper selection is the first and the most important step to be adopted in dairying. Selection is the process to select certain individuals in a population which have desired traits. We desire some traits in the animal. That type of desired animals, we have to select them. That is the process which is there inside this technology. Then, what are the main factors to be considered before selecting a breeding stock? First of all, we have to know that what is the age of that animal and the level of performance. What is the level of performance of that animal in the milk production? And also, it's important that we have to know the health of the animals also. And not only this, but also the behavior of the animal is also very important. And the mothering ability and adaptability to the new situation and new environmental conditions is also a very important thing, which is we have to know in the process of selection. Then, if you see that in this selection, the selection have so many types of selections will be there. We have to take some criteria in this selection. First of all, we have to know what are these selection criteria which is there in this dairy technology to select a proper and a perfect high yielding animal. In this selection process, there are three types of methods are there. Those three types are, the first one is individual selection. First of all, we have to identify the individual animal about the desired traits. And also we have to know in the second step, we have to know that the pedigree selection, we have to know the pedigree selection. And also the third one is the progeny testing. These three methods we have to know while we are selecting a high yielding animal. First of all, we have to discuss about the first selection, that is the individual selection. In this individual selection, there are 6 types of characters will be there. We have to know, we have to identify 6 types of characters. And these 6 characters have a different weightage also. For example, in these 6 characters, the general appearance, the head and the neck, what is the appearance of the head and neck, and also the forequarter, what is the how the forequarter is there for that animal, and also how the body is there, and the hind quarter, we have to know the hind quarter also. Then at last we have to see the characters of the mammary development. In this, the general appearance have 18% of weightage, and head and neck have 9% of weightage, and forequarter we have to give 7% of criteria, and also the body have 20% of weightage, and the hind quarter have 12%, and the mammary development, which is very essential thing in the dairy technology, we have to give the weightage of 34%. In total, in the selection of the individual, we have to know the 100% of weightage for these 6 characters. Now, first of all, we have to discuss about from one by one. First of all, we will discuss about the general appearance, which have the 18% of weightage. First of all, whenever we see that that animals, while we giving 100% of weightage for the animal, then we have to draw the marks, total marks or total points which was gained by that animal. And within that marks or points, we have to grade that animal into different categories. For example, if that animal got 90 and above points, then that is an excellent animal which is a very high yielding variety. And also, if that animal got 85 to 90 marks or 85 to 90 points, then we will go, will the criteria that will give that criteria as the very good animal. And if it got 80 to 85 points, then it is good. If it got 70 to 80, then it is acceptable. And if it got 60 to 70, then it may be fair animal. And it got below 60 marks, then it will treat as poor animal. In this grade score, if any animal scoring below 75 marks, we shouldn't be accepted in the dairy farm. We must and should, we have to discard that animal. Only we have to take care, we have to consider the animal which got above 75 marks only. Then within that criteria, we already discussed about that 6 criteria, and means 6 types, 6 characters. In that 6 characters, every character have another subcategory. For example, generally we already discussed that the general appearance have 18 points. In that general appearance, what should we have to know? If that animal, if you see that animal, then first of all, we have to see the size of that animal. It's ideal to breed, and also it should be low age only, not high age. That is the first one. Then in that criteria, the form of animal, is it symmetrical and stylish? It should be symmetrical and stylish. Whenever we saw that animal, it should be a stylish one only. It should not be an ugly thing, ugly animal. That one also we have to take consider. And the dairy character, in that character, it should be lean and angular. It should be that type of a character. It should be known that. And also after that, we have to see that the skin quality, how the skin is appearing. It should be thin and palpable, and the hair also very smooth and fine. And whenever we touch that, it should be we have to feel that it should be soft one only. And also, if you see that in that general appearance, we have to see the temperament also. It should be not be vigorous one, and also it is a good docile one. It should have to be very docile in nature. That is the general appearance which is have that weightage of 18% of grade points. Then if we see the second one, in the second one, the head and neck is there. We have to see the animal's head and neck. For that purpose, we have to give the head and neck, we have to give 9% of marks points. In that head and neck, we have to see some another characters. In that characters, the muzzle, wide nostrils. Whenever we see that nostrils, it should be wide nostrils, and it should be large. Large nostrils is very good one as according to its health also. And if you see that the animal's face, it should be clean cut. It have to appearance should be very good, and also it should have the facial veins, the prominent veins also. If you see that that animal on the head of the head, there should be some veins. The prominent and facial veins should be good appearance one. Then we have to decide that it should be an healthiest animal. And if you see the forehead, it should be wide. It should be wide. The forehead should be wide. And if you see that horns, it should be fine and typical. And of course, the breed, according to the breed, it should be varied according to the its size also, of course. But it should be fine. The fine horns is a good character also. Then, if you see the neck, it should be slender and medium length only. It should be medium length only, not the shortest one or longest one. It should be medium. Like that, if you see that head and neck, according to this character, so we have to give 9 points. Then come to next point, that is next character, that is forequarter. If you see the forequarter, front quarter, if you see that front quarter, the withers clean, refined, and free from fleshiness. And also shoulders. If you see that shoulders, they should be light, oblique, and well attached, free from fleshiness. That is a good quality which have the high yielding animals. And if you see that legs, the forelegs, they should be straight, well apart, and fine and smooth. That's about the forelegs. And this four quarter also, we have to know about that. Then if you see that the body of that animal, and of course the body have highest marks, highest points whenever we selecting the high yielding animal. For that purpose, the body have 20% of marks. In that body, we should see that how the chest is. The chest should be wide and deep for flank pulp. It should be very good chest will be there. It should be there. And also the back. If you see the back, it should be straight and strong. And vertebra, well deflected vertebra should be there. The line broad, strong, and leveled, free from the flesh. It should be like that. And if you see the ribs, the ribs will be wide apart and well sprung. The rib should be very good one also. And if you see the flanks, it should be thin and deep and full. Like this, the body, whenever we see that body, it should be attractive, and we have to give 20 points for that character. Then, if you see that next quarter, that is hind quarter. The hind quarter is very main essential thing. That's why it have 12% of marks. In this hind quarter, you have to see that how the hip joints or hip bones are. If you see that hip bones, they should be very prominent and wide. The hip joint should be a prominent one and also wide. They should be wide. And the rump should be long and wide level, of course. And also the pin bones should be prominent and wide apart. The pin bones also. And if you see the tail, they say tail also, the long fine tapering tail should be there. We have to see about the line, the long fine tapering tail. And if you see the thigh should be thin, widely separated, and incurring. That is the characters which we have to know, we have to see for that good animal. This is about the hind quarter, which have the 12% of marks for the selection of good animal, for good in the selection of good yielding or high yielding animal. Then next one, the most important one is that the mammary development. You know that this is the essential part, as it is the main part which is required by us. In fact, the milk is coming from this part only. Because of that, we have to more take care about this part completely. Whenever we see this mammary development, we have to take care first of all the udder, how the udder is, how the shape of the udder is. If you see that udder, it should be big udder should be there, and also the udder is also the front fore udder and the rear udder. For example, the fore udder should be full attached forward. It should be attached to the forward. It should be very attached, and also long udder should be there. And if you see that the rear udder, it should be full attached and high and wide udder should be there. That's about the foreudder and hind udder. If you see that the udder should be like this, the foreudder and rear udder. Then if you see the symmetry of the udder, the quarters even balanced and floor of the udder leveled. The floor of the udder should be leveled one. It should be very good one, and it should have a capacity to bear much more amount of milk. That should we have to know that. And also the capacity of the udder, it should be large texture and pliable and free from fat and fibrous tissue. Of course, whenever we see that animal, it should be noted that it should be very good, very big, and it will be strong and capacity should be high. But it shouldn't be a fatty one or a fibrous tissue is not be there. That is the main thing which we have to see in that animal. That's about the mammary development. These are the general characters. The individuals in the individual selection, we have to take care these type of 6 characters. For example, the general appearance, it have 18% of marks, and head and neck, it should be 9% of marks. You have to take care about the head and neck also, and then you have to divide that into 4 parts. First part is head and neck, the next part is forequarter, the next part is body, and next quarter is hind quarter. Like that, we have to divide that into 4 quarters. These 4 quarters we have to know that. Then after that, in these 4 quarters, we have to know everything. Every part has its own marks. Highest priority is there. For example, for the head and neck, we have to know that it has the importance of 9% of marks to gain high yielding capacity of that animal. And also, if you see the forequarter, it has 7% of marks. If you see the body, the center body, it should be have this 20% of marks, 20% of weightage of that marks. And if you see the hind quarter has 12% of marks. At last, the last and very important thing, that is that character is nothing but the mammary development, which is essential for the milk production. That mammary development have 34% of marks. It is very crucial thing, crucial character in the selection process of a high yielding animal. So we have to take care about these type of characters. According to these characters, we have to select the individually that animal. So all these characters have 100% of marks. From this 100% of marks, we have to see that how many marks or how many points did that animal got. If, for example, we already denoted that, according to that, if that animal got 90 points or above, then it is an excellent animal. It will give high yield in the dairy, of course. And if that animal have got 85 to 90 points only, then it will be categorized as a very good animal in the dairy. If it got 80 to 85 marks, then it should be treated as a good animal, and of course it should also have no problem with that in the dairy. If it got only 70 to 80 marks, then it should be an acceptable animal only. If it got 60 to 70, it's only a fair animal only. If it got below 60 marks or below 60 points, then it should be treated as a poor animal. And if you wanted to gain a good profit in the dairy, you have to discard the animal which got below 75 points. That is the main theory which is there inside this. This is about the individual selection. Then the second selection should be the pedigree selection. The pedigree selection, that is the selection criteria based on the ancestors' performance. The ancestors were, for example, its mother or its grandmother, how the yielding of that mother and its grandmother is giving that. That's also we have to take care about that. That is that criteria which is very important in the genetical material. We have to know about that, and the high yielding capacity of that generation. We have to know about that. For that purpose, this selection is very essential. That is the pedigree selection. Then the last selection, the third selection is progeny testing. In the pedigree selection, we have to know about the ancestral animals. In the progeny testing, we have to know about the children or offspring. The progeny of an individual is the index of parents' genetic material. The parents give the genetic material to its offspring. So we can know the genetic material of the children from the parents' genetic material. That is the progeny testing. According to the testing, from this progeny testing and also from the pedigree selection, we can analyze these animals according to the high yielding capacity. That is about the selection process. You know about that. In the selection of high yielding varieties, there are three types of selections are there. Those are the individual selection and the pedigree selection and the progeny testing. And with these three testings, we have to know that how the animal is getting highest yielding, how much amount of milk it should produce, and how much profit can be gained with this animal. Like that, we can select that animals, and we can gain a good profits in the dairy technology. That's about the selection process. I am very thankful to you for hearing this lesson very carefully. Thank you very much. Thank you. Namaste.